In one corner, we have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, an undisputed master of the ground game, a technical wizard with an arsenal of submissions capable of dismantling any opponent. In the other corner stands a Judo black belt, a relentless throwing machine, a practitioner of explosive power capable of slamming adversaries with planet-shaking force. No strikes allowed, no time limit to restrict the action. This is pure, unfiltered grappling at its finest. The ultimate question remains, when these two titans of the mat collide, who emerges victorious? Today, we embark on a deep dive into the science, the intricate strategies, and the brutal fight math that will finally settle this legendary debate once and for all. At the heart of Judo lies the principle of kuzushi, balance, breaking as a form of biomechanical warfare. Olympic-caliber judokas are capable of generating an astonishing over 3,000 newtons of raw force in a single throw. To put that into perspective, that's enough power to effortlessly flip a 250-pound opponent as if they were nothing more than a pancake on a griddle. This whiplash-inducing technique doesn't just take an opponent down, it spikes them headfirst into the mat with terrifying velocity. A devastating maneuver that combines lifting power with brutal rotational force, often leaving opponents disoriented and struggling to recover. A masterclass in leverage, using hip torque to send opponents airborne before crashing them to the canvas. Even on padded mats, a properly executed throw can stun the senses, knock the wind out of an opponent, or even induce a concussion. Just ask any MMA fighter who's been on the receiving end of a suplex. Judokas don't just take opponents down, they land in dominant positions like side control or full mount, completely bypassing the BJJ fighter's guard. There's something uniquely demoralizing about being thrown with authority. Many BJJ practitioners panic when they realize they can't safely pull guard or establish their usual ground control. Olympic judoka Ronda Rousey didn't just dominate early MMA, she rewrote the game with her signature strategy, devastating throws followed by immediate arm bars. Her success proved that Judo's throwing techniques could seamlessly transition into fight-ending submissions. Who do you think wins? Smash like, subscribe, or I'll Sayoi Nage your notifications into oblivion. Modern BJJ hasn't just adapted to takedowns, it has engineered solutions to neutralize them entirely. Key innovations include a tactical retreat, pulling guard instantly to avoid the judoka's lethal throws, a gymnastic escape, flipping out of throws to reset into a defensive guard position, a last line of defense safety net, specifically designed to counter Judo's crushing top pressure. Once the fight hits the mat, the BJJ practitioner's submission chains take center stage. A deadly counter if the judoka postures up too aggressively, brutal shoulder locks that punish opponents who base out too wide. The Achilles heel of Judo. Most traditional judokas have minimal training in leg entanglements, making them vulnerable to heel hooks, knee bars, and toe holds. When BJJ specialists face pure judokas under no-gi rules, the numbers don't lie. A staggering 72% submission rate in favor of BJJ practitioners. Of those finishes, leg locks account for a full 50%, proving that Judo's lack of leg defense is a critical weakness. From the opening grip exchange, the judoka immediately establishes dominance through superior kumikata, grip fighting, shutting down the BJJ practitioner's attempts to pull guard or initiate any form of seated guard play. Within the first 2 minutes, the judoka capitalizes on a single moment of off-balancing, landing a monster throw with the force of a freight train, instantly transitioning into side control with the precision of a surgeon. Once in dominant position, the judoka doesn't just hold, they systematically dismantle their opponent's will to fight. The kisagatame, scarf hold, becomes an inescapable prison, with the judoka's crushing top pressure sapping the BJJ fighter's stamina like a vampire draining blood. Every breath becomes a struggle, every attempt to bridge or shrimp met with bone-jarring adjustments that reinforce the pin. Under traditional judo rules, the match could end here, a pin victory by ippon if held for the required 20 seconds. Even in a submission grappling context, the sheer dominance of position could lead to a referee's decision win, as the BJJ fighter fails to mount any meaningful offense while being systematically smothered. Judokas train to end fights in seconds, not minutes. Unlike BJJ's focus on transitions, Judo pins are designed to immobilize and demoralize. The judoka expends minimal energy executing the throw and maintaining control, while the BJJ fighter burns reserves trying to escape. Recognizing the danger of standing exchanges, the BJJ fighter refuses to engage in the judoka's world, immediately sitting to guard and negating the threat of throws. This isn't retreat, it's a calculated relocation of the battlefield, dragging the fight into the depths of the BJJ specialist's domain. Once in closed guard, the BJJ player methodically breaks the judoka's posture, using sleeve and collar grips to prevent passes while setting traps. The judoka, unfamiliar with prolonged ground exchanges, begins to fatigue, their explosive power waning as the seconds tick past the 5-minute mark. As the judoka's energy dips, the BJJ fighter unleashes their submission arsenal. Capitalizing on the judoka's upright posture, the BJJ practitioner locks in a fight-ending squeeze, a classic counter when the judoka overcommits to stacking or posturing out. The nuclear option, exploiting the judoka's lack of leg lock defense to twist the knee beyond recovery. The longer the fight goes, the more the judoka's explosive advantage fades. Modern BJJ has evolved specifically to nullify takedown specialists. Judo's limited Newaza groundwork curriculum leaves gaps that BJJ's deep toolbox exploits. 65% win rate for judokas in matches ending early. Immediate throws, positional dominance, and psychological impact. 70% win rate for BJJ practitioners in extended battles. Guard retention, superior gas tanks, and submission chains. If the judoka can impose their will in the opening exchanges, landing a catastrophic throw and transitioning into suffocating top control, the fight is theirs to lose. But if the BJJ fighter weathers the early storm, dragging the contest into deep waters where oxygen is scarce and technique reigns supreme, the tide shifts irrevocably. In a no-time-limit submission-only environment, the BJJ black belt's bottomless arsenal of chokes, joint locks, and leg attacks grants them a slight but decisive edge. But one mistimed guard pull, one overcommitted sweep attempt, and the judoka's seismic throws will write an abrupt and violent ending to the story. This isn't just a clash of styles, it's a high-stakes chess match where one checkmate is always lurking in the shadows. Choose your strategy wisely.